afternoon guys, Scott from SE Landscaping, and I'm on my way driving at 150 miles an hour up the motorway. Just joking, it's actually 142. And on my way home from Saltex, it is 3 o'clock and I've just set off from Birmingham after 2 days at Saltex. Very good journey, very good event, enjoyed it. Yesterday I spent the day with Greg Francis from Greg's Mowing, Paul Anderton from Anderton's Gardens, and Martin Hooper from Hooper's Garden Maintenance, and we walked around the show as a group, and it was a really good day, some top lads, so thank you for that. It was an enjoyable visit. We took in a lot of the stalls, a lot of the new stuff, and we overdid it on the freebies. Highlight of the freebies had to be Makita. Milwaukee, not Makita. It was their first time at the show, and I don't think they knew what to expect with people like us who, once you go and get a bag from the stall and you find out what goodies they've got, you decide to go back again and again. And they were giving away really good goodie bags with power bags and power banks and water bottles and stuff in, and it was the best on the show, to be honest. Very little elsewhere apart from pens and notebooks and stuff. So that was yesterday. We got to see a lot of new stuff, which I'll put a few videos up now, just bits and pieces of stuff that I was looking at, mowers and things.
Not a stranger to the dark. Hide away, they say, 'cause we don't want your broken parts. I've learned to be ashamed of all my scars. Run away, they say, no one will love you as you are. But I won't let them break me down to dust. I know that there's a place for us, for we are glorious. Sharpest words wanna cut me down. I'm gonna send the blood, gonna drown them out. I am brave, I am bruised, I am who I'm meant to be. This is me. Look out, 'cause here I come, and I'm marching on to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen, I make no apologies. This is me. Another round of bullets, it's my spear. I'm gonna send a flood, gonna drown a mind. This is brave, this is bruised, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me.
When I was 6 years old, I broke my leg. And I was running from my brother and his friends, and tasted the sweet perfume of the mountain grass I rolled down. I was younger then. Take me back to when I found my heart, broke it here, made friends and lost them through the years. And I've not seen the boring fields in so long. I know I've grown, but I can't wait to go home. I'm on my way, driving at 90 down those country lanes, singing to Tiny Dancer, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real. We watch the sunset over the castle lonely hill. 15 years old and smoking and rolled cigarettes, running from the law through the backfields and getting drunk with my friends. Had my first kiss on a Friday night. I don't reckon that I did it right, but I was younger then. Take me back to when we found weekend jobs, and when we got paid, we'd buy cheap spirits and drink them straight. Me and my friends have not thrown up in so long. Oh, how we've grown, but I can't wait to go home. I'm on my way, driving at 90 down those country lanes, singing to Tiny Dancer, and I miss the way you make me feel. It's real. We watch the sunset over the castle lonely hill. Over the castle lonely hill. Over the castle lonely hill. One friend left to sell clothes, and one works down by the coast. One had 2 kids but lives alone. One's brother overdosed. One's already on his second wife. One's just barely getting by, but these people raised me, and I can't wait to go home.
I've got that I'm interested in. But the main thing to come out of the event, which I had an idea when we went, was I looked at a smaller shredder to go to compensate for the jobs my chipper can't do, which was an Elliott, and the delivery date, if I ordered it today, would be July next year. I also looked at a couple of lawnmowers, and the same again. I'd be looking at June next year, and another one I looked at, he didn't have a date, so which was a bit disappointing. As you've seen from the video there, a lot of battery companies popping up, not just the ones we know. There's one there on the video, Cress. battery mower thing, so hopefully it'll not be long before we can get battery mowers that do the job on a regular basis, which is good. So that was a positive. Other things I was looking at was any innovations on the weed brush thing, but I still think the one I've got from over in UK, although Westerman and various other companies were there today, I still think my over in UK one is up there with the best of them, where with Westerman you need separate machines to do separate jobs and things. So quite impressed with the show, but it wasn't as good as last year. Still enjoyed it, and took a couple of the seminars in as well, the learning seminars today. And the downside of it was they've shrunk the show, so at the end there was a lot of space where people should have been. The likes of Still and BCS Trackmaster weren't there, which was a bit disappointing. And they filled a lot of spaces with things like coffee shops and stuff. So a lot of people I talked to were saying it wasn't as good as previous, which I would agree, but it was still an enjoyable day out. There was a few sore heads this morning. We did have the Legends do last night, which I'll just put a little short up here of it.
Thank you very much, everybody, for attending this year's Lawn Care Legends Awards at Saltex 2021. This is our third year. 4 years we've had Lawn Care Legends and our third awards. So to get a turnout like this during a pandemic really is something that is very impressive. It's a very proud moment for all the hard work and effort that's gone in, not only from you guys who participate in the group, because without you, none of us would be here. I wouldn't be putting in the effort with sponsors and manufacturers to get on board and support us and celebrate the small business owners in the industry. So I'm going to try and, I've forgotten my remote control, so there you go, welcome. As we go through it. Now, one of the three things that Lawn Care Legends is really all about is educating, supporting, and networking. Every time we've done a meeting like this or a meetup, you'll find that, like I said earlier on when we were at the Aaron's booth, this is not a case of your competition beside you in the industry, but your colleague, your peer. And even though we might be spaced out between different countries, there's a lot that we can learn from each other through the exchange of information, which sometimes we might find hard to come across from people who are in our local areas. So the online exchange of that is absolutely invaluable, and these 3 points, or these 3 values that Lawn Care Legends encompasses is really what we're all about. We have some representatives from our sponsors. That is an impressive list to say the least. We started out with 3 sponsors in 2018. In 2019, we grew to 12 sponsors, some of whom approached us and said, we would like to support you in what you're doing to celebrate the small business owner in the industry. This year, we have 25 sponsors that have seen fit to really get on board and really take it up to another level. So if that's where we are now, just imagine where we will be in 5 years or 10 years time. The incredible thing about this is we started from a Facebook group. We've got a physical meetup here of people from the industry. So the future of what we are going to do is going to be very exciting and very promising as we look forward to sharing it with all of you as we kind of go on this journey.
And the likes of John, Jay, Danny, Tom and the rest of the crew have done a really good job of building this up, and it was a really good turnout. They've got a lot of companies involved and stuff, and they've put a lot of their own time into it, and it's not just the guys I've mentioned, there's a few more behind the scenes, but yeah, hats off to you guys, you've done a good job with that. It was a good night, we had a bit of a get together afterwards, and we had something to eat and things, so that was good. And got a few prizes from there dished out, which I actually won something, so that was nice as well. And met a few more legends, which I'll put up here now.
Collaboration.
Is that your next investment?
Yeah.
See if you can spot yourself and stick a comment in the section below. I'm getting some good feedback from the videos. obviously Danny Clegg from DSA, I had a good chat with him, the Legends do, and he said that the videos have really helped. Some of the videos he's watched have really helped him in the commercial sector, which is really good. And one or two other people, just as you go around the show, just tap you on the shoulder and say, "Yo, Scott, yeah, I watch your videos and I enjoy them." So that was great that people have noticed and they've come along and said that. So it's worthwhile doing. It's obviously some people put a lot of time into videos and editing in 3 or 4 hours, and hats off to the likes of Chris, the Country Cottage Gardener, who does some amazing videos and amazing footage. But I don't have the time to sit and do that, unfortunately. I'm not saying Chris and everybody else have the time, but obviously it's about making time for certain things, and I just don't have it. So I tend to bang them on the splice on my phone, put them together, upload them while I'm working or something, and there's very little time involved in editing. So that's, and a lot of them are raw as well. So that's how we go with those. So like I say, a good chat with a couple of guys, and one that springs to mind, I was talking to Dave Warner, who is the lawn guy. Anybody on YouTube will know, and it's the first time I met Dave, and he was just explaining about, we were talking about fitness, and obviously he's done triathlon and he keeps fit, and he was explaining pretty much like I've said on previous videos, if you do a little bit of fitness, it makes your job easier, and I'm a big advocate of that. Although I don't run like I used to, I do enough that keeps me going, because if you have a bit of time off, you sort of feel sluggish, and you need to keep fit in this trade. So it was good to speak to somebody else who agrees and does a little bit just to keep fit. So that was it was good to talk to Dave, as well as, like I say, there's that many people I spoke to. The Still Legend springs to mind. Andy Wayne, I had a chat with Andy at the Legends do. One or two, he mentioned he knows a lot more about still than I do, and he mentioned that there's 1 or 2 new products that'll be coming soon. And just back on the subject of Greg's mowing, a few weeks ago I test drove an Artesia mower, just a small pedestrian one, and I spoke to Greg about it. Obviously Greg's the go-to man for Artesia hater, etc. And he mentioned he bought a new one that he sort of hadn't used. Obviously he has other Artesias, and I asked him if he was thinking of selling it, and he said yes. So I bought an Artesia mower while I was down there off Greg, which is in the back of the car at the moment, all folded down. So interesting to get that. Whether I get it out this year, the way the weather is now, probably not. So it'll probably go away, and we'll probably get it out next year. But that's a nice addition to the fleet. It's very similar to the Still. It's another mower that I need a backup for the Still, so that if the Still's out on one job, this will go out on another. So it's handy to have 2 mowers that pick up in the wet. And I've always wanted an Artesia. I've never had one, so it's that ticks that box. So thanks Greg for supplying that, and we shall get some videos once we do get it out. I might get it out sort of when it's wet in December, just to show you what it can do in the wet on a nice wet day. But failing that, the mower will be out in the next year. So, and then as we left the event to head to the car park, I just spied out the corner of my eye a couple of guys who I've been watching on the YouTube, which is Carl and Mike from Dagtail. Now, if you watch these 2 guys, they're probably one of the best teams, and I don't mean sort of the work. Yes, the work's good. I mean in actually working together. They have sort of a decent laugh on site. They work very good together in conjunction with each other, and if you watch the videos, you'll see what I mean. It's very good how they work together and sort of in unison in everything they do. One's there to help the other. So I had a good chat with them too, mainly about sort of commercial work and who owns the business was explaining that he's looking to push into parish councils and things. He was looking for a bit of advice. So 10 minutes turned into about 40 minutes on the way out, and we had a good chat there. So it was good to meet you two guys. I'm sure I'll get a comment below. And same again, just anybody who I haven't mentioned, I met a lot of guys this weekend, and we've had a good laugh, and some top guys. Some who obviously we meet at other shows, but some guys that I haven't met before. But it was a really welcoming event. Anybody think they're going to Saltex next year and joining up with the groups, just go along. Feel free to go along and say hello, because they are good to meet up with, network with, and chat. Just to get to know what sort of how people do different things. I know it's only grass cutting, but people find different ways to do things, and it's good to chat about the industry and their problems and your problems and stuff. And like I say, apart from that, the seminars were quite good. They were worth a visit. I didn't do them all, just there was a couple. There was one on sort of mental health, and it was just quite good to listen to people, how they manage working, and it was more to do with stress and employees and stuff. And there was a couple of guys there giving their insight into how they've dealt with managing people and things, and it resonated a lot with sort of the issues I've had and stuff, and trying not to sort of fly off the handle at times, which is very difficult when someone might have cost you thousands of pounds, or when someone hasn't done what you wanted them to. So it's about channeling it into different things, and I took a bit from that event, made a few notes at that event, so that was quite good. And apart from that, like I say, it was a great event. It was not as great as previous, but it was still well worth the trip out. So just a short video there, mainly talking, a few bits of footage, not a huge amount, because it's you can go into a stall and chat about a Mowing before you know it, you've been on that stall for an hour, and there's only Saltex is only on for 2 days, so it's difficult to get lots and lots of footage and things, but I've got a little bit to give people an idea of what's there and what's not. I think the key thing is, looking forward, is from my point of view and a bit of advice, if anybody's thinking of buying a mower today, or a hedge cutter, or anything really, I would suggest you place an order today, or at least you get a demo today if you're planning on doing that, and not think about, right, I'll get a demo in January and we might buy one in February, because the way people are talking, you ain't going to get that machine. So get along, get something, get machinery ordered, get equipment ordered, get demos done. That would be my advice. So any comments or any questions about anything today, like I said, drop them in the comments section below, and I'll drop you a reply, and we will see you on the next one, when we will be back on the tools. Tomorrow is work day, Friday, so back on the tools tomorrow, checking the weather when we get home, because that's a big part of my job, is checking the weather each night, which changes day to day. Yes, it could say it's going to be bright all week, but we know how fast that changes. So we'll check the weather when we get home, and then we'll plan our day for tomorrow. So thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you on the next one.